Hi, welcome to Denver's Good News Ministry. Today I have Vanessa here to tell her story. First, we're going to start off with the prayer. God, thank you for another great day, a beautiful day, nice and warm. Thank you for bringing Vanessa on to the podcast and every other guest that I've had on here to tell their story. I pray that we help others uh, to either tell their story or get the help that they need. And let's keep on blessing us for more to come. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so now what I got here is something I'm trying to work on doing a little bit more. So right here it says, in your relationship around you, think, do you put in as much as the other party? Do you care for them as much as they care for you? One hopes so, but it's part of parcel of human being to feel insecure or hurt if we suspect others are not returning our affections or matching our investment in either time or energy. God, however, has already given us more than we can ever hope to repay. He has given us His only begotten Son, His eternal love, and a commitment to stay by our side through the high and the low. We can never hope to repay this debt, yet He still loves and gives. We could never hope to match His sacrifice, yet He still keeps on showing us grace. So rejoice in Him.
It's very beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty much into all this stuff when I go through things. It's always inspirational to sit back and think about things that God has done for us and stuff like that, and helping others.
It's true.
He made the biggest sacrifice of all.
Definitely.
So, okay, so let's see here. How old were you when you first started using like anything?
I found myself um sneakily getting into my mother's pack of cigarettes at about 14.
Okay.
So it was originally nicotine that I found curiosity about due to my mother being a smoker. And I thought to myself, I already have asthma, so secondhand smoke isn't any better than firsthand smoke, so I may as well just try it.
Okay.
And due to the diagnosis of asthma, I thought it was my excuse of, well, if she's just going to smoke around me anyways, I may as well do it myself.
Yeah. And how old were you?
I was about 14 years old.
14.
Yes. And then gradually over time, it went from nicotine to marijuana. I found myself gifted $300 from my grandmother for school supplies one year. And I was transferring from elementary school to junior high. So she really wanted me to have the right supplies available for me for junior high schools because it was in the state of Utah. We went from sixth grade to seventh grade, and seventh grade it was a really like overwhelming thing for me.
So your elementary school went from kindergarten to sixth grade.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's because of the state of Utah rules. Each state differentiates. I've heard other ones are different. But when I was transferring from sixth grade to seventh grade, my Nana prepared me with a allowance that was way too much money for me to know what to handle or do with. And at the time, I had ran into a boyfriend, which is now my ex husband, that purchased me my first marijuana use. And that was about 14 years old as well. And gradually over time, as most people say, marijuana is the gateway drug. Sure enough, it was for me. It gradually went into more and more substance use over the years.
Okay.
It did start out with nicotine and marijuana originally, and over the years, it accumulated into methamphetamines and fentanyl by the age of 21, right after my pregnancy. Well, during my labor delivery process, I was unfortunately introduced to the IV fentanyl, and I wish I would have had more knowledge on its like short term effects and long term effects.
Okay.
and I would have been more advised about what it was, because I wanted an all natural labor and delivery, but when I was introduced to it, it was a wrap from there.
So you got the IV fentanyl when
I
you
was
were
in
giving
labor
birth.
delivery.
Okay.
Yes. So I found myself in love with fentanyl after that very moment, because it was the best moment of my life, giving birth to my daughter. And from there, I fell in love with it. I hadn't been introduced to any street fentanyl until long afterwards. About a year later, I was introduced to street fentanyl, and it unfortunately like costed me everything I ever loved and more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in addiction, it does do that. It does take away everything. You sell your stuff, or you just don't care about paying this bill off or that bill, or
Right.
So, um, so you would go back and forth. So you would do like fentanyl to get high, and then like amphetamine to wake up.
Yes. So I found myself very deep in my addiction. And I got so deep in the addiction that I was doing methamphetamines during the nighttime to be aware of my surroundings and hyper vigilant of the streets, because I didn't want to be a young lady in the streets and be harmed or endangered or taken advantage of, because I am very pretty and young.
Yeah.
That I found myself having to do methamphetamines during the nighttime in order for me to be safe. And then I also did fentanyl during the daytime, because I couldn't deal with living with a life that I wasn't with my family. It was very detrimental to me that I'd lost my family due to my addiction, and I used it as an excuse to continue.
Okay. Did they? I mean, I know you said you lost them, but did they like try to help you in any way?
I would say that my ex-husband or my family friends tried their absolute best. They had made every attempt in the book to be able to accommodate to my needs and take care of me, because there were points where I was in my own apartment with my own vehicle, but I was also on bedside or bed rest due to my addiction. My addiction had put me into bed rest for so long that I ended up seeing eviction and repo. Um, so there was once in time where I was very stabilized. I was actually a manager for Walgreens of 4 different locations I'd worked for. And it was very inspiring. It was a beautiful part of my life, but due to the addiction, um, I see some of our members from Hazelbrook community wear this shirt sometimes, and it says, "Addiction is giving up everything for one thing, and recovery is giving up one thing for everything." And I feel like I've really lived that.
That's good. So, how long have you been in the program?
I've been with the program several times.
Okay.
I was first originally with the program when Allison was the intake worker and the outreach worker as well. And that was quite some amount of time ago. That was about 2.5 years ago, I think.
Okay.
That was my very first introduction to Hazelbrook. Um, I had grown a resentment to it due to the falling out that me and her had shared once, and so I chose to stray away for some time. And it was my ego and my pride that I couldn't put aside. So I found myself 2.5 years later and finally put the ego and pride aside, and I came back for the second time. I graduated my second time. Well, my first time was unsuccessful. My second time it was successful. I graduated October 31st of just this last one that passed.
Uh-huh.
And then I found myself out on the streets again with what was my boyfriend at the time being. And I wanted to come back because it just gotten so bad and so evil and so cruel that I couldn't live it anymore. I had unfortunately experienced overdose several times, been Narcan several times.
Ooh.
And so I found myself in a position where I was done. And so I came back for my third time, and that took a lot of pride and ego and to put aside. for
Yeah.
me to be able to come back and realize that, hey, I may have messed up, but like it's not about how many times we fall, it's about how many times we get back up. And so I got back up gradually. So originally I came in when I was just released from Brighton, Adams County, at 3 in the morning on a Sunday, and I had found my rock bottom when that had occurred for me, because I had to unfortunately figure out a way until the buses were running, and RTD didn't run on Sundays or holidays, and it was a Sunday before Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So I found myself in a position when I came to the center after riding 4 buses and 1 train to get here. Um, I was fortunately able to UA, and they seen that my UA was clean because of me being incarcerated.
Yeah.
Um, and so they wanted to send me back to the ACP program, which I had just relapsed out of, unfortunately, and that was due to my own choices. Um, and that's where I learned accountability. But unfortunately, I didn't feel like that was the right step for me. So I started back at square one from phase one house again. And that was the Lima one. And then gradually I went to phase two, which is the Clifton house. And now I'm on my way to graduation tonight at 6 p.m.
Tonight.
Yes.
Nice, nice. That's congratulations.
Thank you. It's the second graduation since October. So I'm very happy that it's in January because it's a start to a new year.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been sober all 2026 is what I can say now. So I like it.
That's good. So, are you more cautious about your environment now? People who you hang out with, and
I would say due to my addiction, I'm very, very hyper vigilant. I choose my associations and my friends and my family very wisely due to I don't want to fall back into addiction ever again. I think it is something so cruel and so evil to the point where everybody will find their rock bottom, and if they don't find their rock bottom, they'll find a basement to it.
yeah,
And eventually the time comes where you want to stay clean because you don't ever want to go back to that life. It's a very degrading thing. Like there's a lot of worthy people and a lot of successful people that I've met, very talented artists, singers, um, like any talent of any kind through my addiction. And it's amazing to me because they can make lives or careers from those talents and they don't realize it because of the addiction.
yeah,
And I think of it this way, like once they're willing to give up the drug, they'll be able to make something more successful of it. And I was able to be thankfully blessed because my higher power granted me an opportunity like so. And so when one door closed, 3 more opened up. And I was very thankful for that because Hazelbrook has been 100% my guidance and my support along the way to do so.
awesome. So, how's your situation with your family now?
My family is very few and far in between. We're a dying breed, quite literally. Um, so my mother and my father are both passed away. I was parentless by the age of 19.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. I gradually learned that they were never really there for me or in the picture long enough for me to have an emotional stance with it, although I was grieving from it. I went through the grieving process of it, and it was very hard for me to grieve what I consider strangers because unfortunately they weren't there long enough for me. My father I met on his deathbed, and my mother only kept me until I was 14 years old. So we grew apart very quickly. And one I didn't really share a relationship with. So those were of unfortunate. As for aunts and uncles, I do have one aunt. Her name is Christy. She's very beautiful and very kind. She's a pharmacist and she's a part of the good side of the family. So I really do look up to her. And then I do have my uncle as well, and his name is Dustin. He's a good worker. He just works and works and works his whole life away. He's been a complete slave to work from when I was just a kid. That's all I've ever known him for. Um, Anytime I do reach out to him, he's like, "I'm sorry, Ness, I'm busy at work." And so it's very hard to get a hold of him, but I know it's for the right reasons. So I also look up to him because he's now 2 years clean, and that's awesome because
Yeah.
that's more than any of our family can really say as of right now, except for my aunt, because my aunt was the one family member that didn't suffer of addiction. So I was very thankful to have her growing up through my childhood. She was the one responsible for like Christmases and the were very important holidays, and she was able to provide for us. So I'm very thankful for her.
Nice. Nice. That's really good.
Brothers and sisters, though, I was an only child. And then as for that, I think that's about the only family I really have, unless you consider my children. Um, I do have three angel babies and one successful pregnancy. So I do have a daughter that I'm fighting for currently.
Okay. For custody or visitation?
Yes. I'm wanting to reinstate my parental rights. Unfortunately, I had an environmental exposure occur where I had been dating an individual that was relapsed, and it costed me because I had been making interactions with this person and was unaware that it was going to cost me an environmental exposure. I was 2.5 years clean, and the environmental exposure was what costed me my child because they took a follicle test and it came back for methamphetamines.
Oh.
So unfortunately, I did have my parental rights terminated, and so did her father. But we're looking to reinstate them with a petition through our lawyers as of right now.
Okay. Well, good luck on that.
Thank you.
I do hope you get your daughter back.
I appreciate it.
Everybody deserves another chance to do right.
Thank
You know, just keep following on the path you're going on. You're doing good. Just use that as an incentive to definitely keep going. Not just yourself, but
right
for your main goal right now.
She's mainly my biggest motivation. She keeps me going. She's the little light of my entire life, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it weren't for wanting to win her back because I got my eyes on the prize. But it's been a long road, and I'm hopeful that we're at a standstill with that custody battle. So, but I know God will bless us. I know that I believe in my higher power, and I know that He's going to do the right thing. And there may be some, like forks in the road, or like what is it called, an obstacles course to do so. But I'm willing to go through the obstacles in order to win her back. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, there's times there's always going to be an obstacle that you got to go through.
Oh yeah.
In life, but just stay positive.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's definitely for sure. I've been through tons of obstacles, and I always try to stay on the positive side.
Right.
It's not easy, but
right.
It's
worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
I went through Landmark Recovery once upon a time, which is also another. It's an inpatient treatment center, but their book has a monarch butterfly, and their workbook also says at the base of it says it's not easy, but it's worth it.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's something that's really resided with me, especially since I graduated from Landmark High School. So it was very something in similarity.
Okay.
So it definitely did have a part of my story, and I'm very thankful for them as well because they've also led me here. So, they were along the way too. But yeah, I truly do believe that. And one of my friends once told me that positivity is a choice. And so I really try and keep that in mind because I truly believe it.
Yeah, that's good. And so you graduate tonight. excuse me. And so, you're going to continue with the program or a different program, or
So I have multiple choices as of right now. I have the choice to go back to ACP, or I have the choice of another sober living home, which is a Mothers in Me option, in which I think I'm leaning toward. And then I also have like a couples home or a singular home, which is called Dog Star as well. And honestly, with having three people accept me and all three of them want to start the intake process,
yeah,
I've been really praying on it because prayer typically gives me the correct answer because I do work my 12-step program,
mhm.
and my sponsor did tell me, like, sleep on it and pray about it, and I guarantee you'll have the right answer. And I think she's right, so I did give myself some grace to sleep on it and to pray about it. And with me having three different options available for me, um, and with what obstacles I'm going through for my family, I think the most appropriate one would be the Mothers in Me home because I really do want to have the opportunity for me and my child to be home successfully.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, what is that mommy and me program about?
So there's opportunities available within the sober living community that if you are a mother in need of help with case management or a house manager or peer coaches or parent advocates, there's a lot of resources available for that. And Mother and Me homes are like homes that support mothers in need of wanting a place in sobriety for them and their child to be home. And within the community, I know of a few. There's Oxford, and then there used to be one that was called this Defy Sober Living. I think they got bought out by New Hope. And then there's also one more that I'm going to shortly, probably tonight or the following morning. And so those are just a few that I know of, but they are very, very good resources available to advocate for mothers that are with their children or fighting for their children.
Nice. Well, that's really good. It sounds like a good plan there.
I truly believe
Um,
it.
you'll know which one's the best for you to go to.
Yeah,
But that does really sound like a good program for you.
I appreciate it.
Sure,
I think
sure.
I'm definitely leaning towards the Mother in Me.
Well, mother knows best, right?
Right? Right? That's the godforsaken truth if I've ever heard it.
Yeah, yeah. If I had a nickel for every time my mom told me stuff and
Right,
I didn't listen, but
right. She always got the right answer though, for sure.
yeah, yeah. I was the one that had to learn the hard
I've also, unfortunately, as well. Um, yeah, just as of recently too. That was just back in December.
way. Okay.
So my sober date is actually December 17th, and so I'm coming up on 30 days here shortly.
Oh, nice.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, so now, what hobbies do you have? What do you like to do?
Um, Honestly, I have a few. So I like longboarding. Longboarding is one of my favoriteest. There's nothing like the wind in my hair and listening to my own music on like me just exercising through longboarding. That, and honestly, it's a little bit faster than public transportation, so I prefer it. Mainly because I don't know. I have a I don't know. Like I'm fascinated with it. I have a
Okay.
passion for it. Um, and then also when I was able to have a little bit more free time, and the thing that was really cool about Landmark Recovery is they had a volleyball net in their backyard, so
Mhm.
we would play volleyball, and that's one of my favoriteest sports. Sorry.
Okay.
And back when I had a little bit more free time than I do now, I had interest in soccer as well.
Okay. Nice. And so longboarding is like a skateboard but bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit longer than a skateboard, but then they have several different types too. They have like pintails, they have like flat boards that dip in, they have like all sorts of kinds.
So are each one made for separate different types of things, or because it's the same? I'm assuming it's the same thing I've seen in some videos where people are just laying down and going downhill.
I think so. Back when my brother would do what's that one thing on like it's my brother would do some type of like video during his skate or longboarding because there's a lot of canyons in the state of Utah.
Yeah.
And so, oh, I guess I do have a half brother. His name's Trevor. Um, I almost forgot about him though because we're like half siblings, so we didn't see each other very often. But he used to longboard down the canyons, and he said that there's a different like aerodynamics behind it, but I don't know if I believe that or not. But I believe him. So, but I haven't experienced it myself because I've only really had like a Sector 9 and a Golden Coast. So I've only ever had like a couple of them.
Okay. Nice. So you have those hobbies, and you like soccer. You haven't kept up on soccer though, have you?
Kind of, sort of. I think the last time that I played soccer was about a year ago, though.
Oh, a year ago?
Yeah. So, due to my addiction, I kind of fell out of my interest. My addiction kind of costed me even my hobbies. You know, the addiction kind of made me feel as if I wasn't really allowed to do the things that I wanted to do because I was too busy trying to get well. And when you're sick, you kind of just only have that one intention is to be able to get well because if you're not well enough to, then you're gonna want to get well.
Yeah.
You know. So unfortunately, that was the only focus I had. I wasn't really able to focus on anything else due to it. Once you're so far into the addiction, you have to find your way out. You know. But unfortunately, a lot of the time, your hobbies go out the window. Um, I think longboarding stayed with me during my addiction, but soccer and volleyball definitely were a sober thing for me.
Okay. And so, have you found any new hobbies or interests?
I think I've found interest in reading and writing a lot. I can share with you a book that we have within the sober living that I'm with right now. It's phase 2 program with Hazelbrook.
Uh-huh.
It's the transitional safety zone. So it's the shortened into TSZ. But in the phase 2 house, we're shared this book from Pam, which the house is also named after. That's why it's called the Clifton House. And within it, in order for us to graduate, we have to create our relapse prevention plan.
Okay.
And so, my first go around successfully with my like certificate from October 31st, which wasn't that long ago, was successful with the certificate, yeah, because I had the participation. But I shortly afterwards relapsed, so I wasn't putting it into action. But this time around, I chose to be very in depth with it. So like I found interest in reading this stuff. I found interest in writing about it. So I ended up going a little bit more seriously this time around because it is like my life depends on it.
Yeah.
You know, so I found interest in reading and writing a little bit, as you can tell. I kind of got like color coded and everything, so I don't know. I found
it's a good way to keep track of it.
Yeah, I love it. Nice. I think reading and writing is something that I've found passion for, that I didn't know that I was capable of having a talent with. That I rediscovered myself a little bit more within my sobriety each day. And it's cool because since you're from a rock bottom in the beginning, you get to start from scratch.
Yeah.
So you can create yourself into anything you want to be from there. Like what used to be a drug addict can end up being the most successful person next, you know? But you have to create it along the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I really love starting from scratch though, because what I have been creating is a new form of me.
That's good. Right on. So, is there anything else you would like to share? Anything you want people to know?
Um,
Any advice?
I'd say it is a one day at a time thing. Um, and in the beginning, it's going to be really, really rough, but in the long run, it's definitely worth it. Um, and so that's all I got.
Okay. Well, that was good. Yeah, it is one day at a time. I like to say 1 day, 1 minute,
Oh
one
yeah,
second.
definitely.
But just keep working at it.
Right.
You'll get to where you want to be. There's a lot of success stories that I know about. Um, and I'm one. I becoming a peer coach,
That's
doing
awesome.
this podcast.
That's
You
a
know,
dream goal.
to become a peer coach.
Yeah.
Well, it's easy. I mean, if you need any referrals,
Okay.
I have some places that you could contact
That'd be
to start
awesome.
doing peer coaching. You can speak with
Okay.
them and stuff.
That'd be cool.
Um, I'll give you their number,
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
you can reach out to them.
Yay.
And so that's another good thing. But the peer coaching, doing the podcast to help others. People could hear everybody's story because everybody's story is different.
That's awesome.
Um, Everybody's advice is different. Uh, well, one thing works for one person might not work for another.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that like don't want to come to sober living homes and they want to try it on their own.
Right.
And so if they see this video and they want to go that route, hopefully it helps them. But also, I do know that um, you can't do it alone. You need help.
Right. The
You know,
support is
the
definitely
support exactly.
so it builds
Sober
the
community.
structure and foundation. You know.
Yeah, sober community always helps,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
it's always good to be around because it's a whole new lifestyle compared to
Amen.
what you were doing. And if you keep getting stuck around that same uh, mindset or the group of people,
Right.
it's going to be hard to come out of that addiction.
Amen.
So it's definitely a big change.
Right. It saved my life for the better though.
That's good. Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah.
So, all right. With that being said, uh, I hope you hit the like button and subscribe to listen to more. I do take clothing donations also to help others in need because when they come into the program, they're either fresh off the streets with nothing or out of prison with nothing, as some of the individuals. Also, you seen if you keep looking, if you haven't seen my podcast with Nicole, look that up. She's got my friend's closet, and she also helps out others that in need. And I think that's about it. All
That's a
right.
good
Thank
one.
you, everybody. Have a great day.